The 23rd of January, 2026 marks the moment after weeks of playing tough guy dictator, we have formed the framework of a future deal. Did you sign a contract with God? Are we doing business with eternity itself? The man's brain is pudding. It's tapioca. The 23rd of January, 2026 marks the moment the global economy quietly but decisively changed course. In less than 18 months, more than $12 trillion in international trade and capital flows were rerouted to deliberately bypass the United States, treating it as a zone of financial instability rather than leadership. The U.S. dollar share of global cross-border payments collapsed from 88% to 61%, the steepest decline since World War II. Emerging economies posted average growth of 5.7%, while the U.S. struggled to reach 1.2%, despite injecting over $3.5 trillion in emergency liquidity. No missiles were launched, no formal declarations were made. But markets voted with ruthless efficiency. Supply chains moved, capital fled, and the verdict was unmistakable. The world is no longer waiting for America to lead. It is learning how to move forward without looking back. Drop your thoughts in the comments, like, subscribe, and stay with us, because what followed this moment reshaped alliances in ways few Americans were prepared for. Donald Trump just executed the most humiliating surrender in modern diplomatic history. After weeks of playing tough guy dictator, threatening to invade Greenland, positioning troops, bullying our NATO allies, this pathetic coward folded like a cheap lawn chair the second the world pushed back. And now he's desperately trying to spin his complete and total defeat as some kind of 4D chess victory. It's embarrassing, it's weak, and we need to break down exactly how badly Trump just got owned on the world stage. Let me read you the surrender document he posted from Davos. And I'm calling it a surrender document because that's what it is. Based upon a very productive meeting that I have had with the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, we have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland and, in fact, the entire Arctic region. This solution, if consummated, will be a great one for the United States of America and all NATO nations. Framework of a future deal. Let that sink in. Not a deal, a framework of a future deal. It's bureaucratic gibberish designed to mask the fact that Trump got absolutely nothing. Zero. Zilch. He threatened war. He threatened tariffs. He confused Iceland with Greenland multiple times like a dementia patient wandering through a nursing home. And at the end of it all, Mark Rutte probably patted him on the head and said, "Yes, Donald, you're a very strong president. Here's your participation trophy. Now shut up and go home." I can picture the meeting. Trump walks in, starts ranting about how he needs Greenland, how it's actually Iceland. No, wait, Greenland, no Iceland again. And Rutte just sits there nodding with that look you give a toddler having a meltdown at Target. Yes, Mr. President, we'll form a framework for the future. Now, would you like some chocolate milk and a nap? And based on this absolutely meaningless word salad, Trump says he won't impose tariffs scheduled for February 1st. So let's recap the art of the deal here. Trump creates a completely unnecessary crisis, threatens to invade a NATO ally, tanks the stock market, pisses off every European leader, forces Denmark to prepare for war, and then when everybody tells him to go to hell, he backs down completely, announces a fake deal that doesn't exist, and declares victory. This is like if I walked into a bank, screamed that I'm robbing the place, got tackled by security, and then on my way out in handcuffs announced I've reached a framework for a future agreement about potentially discussing bank security at some point. Brilliant negotiation, Donald, really showing them who's boss. But wait, it gets so much worse when reporters asked him what this infinite framework deal actually includes.
It's total access. There's no end. There's no time limit.
Whether the United States would have ownership of Greenland, like he's been screaming about for 3 weeks straight. Watch him completely short circuit. It's a long-term deal. It's the ultimate long-term deal. And I think it puts everybody in a really good position, especially as it pertains to security and minerals and everything else. The ultimate long-term deal. How long, Donald? And he goes,
How long would the deal be, Mr. President?
Infinite.
You made an infinite deal. What does that even mean? Did you sign a contract with God? Are we doing business with eternity itself? This is what happens when you let a real estate con man with clear cognitive decline negotiate foreign policy. He just strings together business buzzwords and hopes nobody notices he's saying absolutely nothing. And here's the thing. Trump does this constantly. He makes a catastrophically stupid decision. Something really bad happens. The world pushes back. He panics, reverses course, and then gaslights everyone into thinking the disaster he created and then ran away from was actually part of his brilliant plan all along. It's the narcissist playbook, except this time the entire world was watching, and they're not buying it. State regime media, Fox News, which has spent weeks breathlessly repeating Trump's talking points about how America must own Greenland, how we should take it by force if necessary, how this is the most important issue facing America today. Now they're scrambling to explain what an infinite framework deal means. They brought in the former U.S. ambassador to Denmark, and even she looked completely lost. I don't know what he's ended up with. I know that he said unequivocally that we had to own it. Does it look like Puerto Rico? Does it look like free association? Does it look like Trump paying attention during the briefing? Nobody knows because there is no deal. It's smoke. It's mirrors. It's a carnival barker yelling about the amazing thing behind the curtain when there's literally nothing there. Just an old man in a bad suit who confused Iceland with Greenland and is now pretending that was part of the plan. And speaking of confusing Iceland with Greenland, let's talk about Trump's cognitive collapse in real time at Davos. This man, who has spent every waking moment for the past month obsessing over Greenland, who threatened nuclear-armed NATO allies over Greenland, who tanked the global economy over Greenland, cannot keep Greenland and Iceland straight in his own head. He said Iceland when he meant Greenland at least 4 times during his speech.
The stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland. So Iceland's already cost us a lot of money.
You're threatening to invade Greenland? This is like declaring war on Mexico and then spending the whole press conference talking about how we need to take over Morocco. The man's brain is pudding. It's tapioca. And we're all just supposed to pretend this is normal. Caroline Leavitt, Trump's spokesperson, who apparently failed geography in 3rd grade, tried to defend him by claiming Trump was calling Greenland a piece of ice. No, Caroline, we have the video. Multiple videos. He said Iceland multiple times. The country, with people in it. That's not Greenland. Are you lying or are you just catastrophically stupid? Actually, don't answer that. We know it's both. Even accounts that usually give Trump the benefit of the doubt are calling this out. He literally said Iceland several times this morning when talking about Greenland. This isn't ambiguous. This isn't a speech impediment. This is dementia. This is cognitive decline happening in real time on the world stage. We are at DementiaCon 5, folks. Red alert. The president's brain has left the building and it's not coming back. And you know what makes this even more pathetic? While Trump was in Switzerland delivering this brain-melting disaster of a speech, confusing countries, announcing infinite deals, American citizens are suffering, ICE is murdering people in Minneapolis, healthcare is being stripped away, we're in a jobs recession, grocery prices are through the roof. But sure, let's fly the dementia patient to Davos so he can embarrass us in front of every world leader while ranting about Iceland when he means Greenland. Here's what actually happened at Davos. World leaders pushed back hard. Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada stood up and basically told Trump to go screw himself in the most diplomatic language possible. On Arctic sovereignty, we stand firmly with Greenland and Denmark and fully support their unique right to determine Greenland's future. Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. Let me translate that for you. Try it, Donald, and we're going to war. Article 5 means an attack on one NATO member is an attack on all. Carney just told Trump that if American troops set foot in Greenland with hostile intent, Canada and the rest of NATO will respond militarily against the United States. Think about that. Our closest ally just had to threaten us with war because our president is a deranged wannabe dictator. And what did Trump do when faced with actual resistance? He folded immediately, completely, announced his infinite framework deal, and scurried home with his tail between his legs. because Trump is a bully, and bullies always fold when somebody punches back. Always. Meanwhile, California Governor Gavin Newsom was in Davos functioning as America's shadow president, actually representing democratic values, actually explaining to confused world leaders that Trump doesn't speak for all Americans. When asked about Trump confusing Greenland and Iceland over and over again, Newsom just laughed. A lot of stuff stands out. None of this is normalized. There's a normalization of deviancy. He's graded on a curve. It's jaw-dropping statements that fly in the face of facts and evidence and common sense. Exactly right. We cannot normalize this madness. Every single time Trump does something insane, we have to call it out. We can't just shrug and go, well, that's Trump being Trump, because this isn't normal. Threatening to invade allied territory isn't normal. Confusing Iceland with Greenland 4 times in one speech isn't normal. Announcing infinite framework deals that don't exist isn't normal. This is the behavior of a cognitively declining authoritarian who's completely lost the plot. And here's the cherry on top of this humiliation Sunday. You know who's joining Trump's board of peace? Vladimir Putin, yeah? The war criminal currently genociding Ukraine just announced he'll contribute $1 billion from frozen Russian assets to get a permanent seat on Trump's peace board. So the board consists of Trump, Putin, Lukashenko, Europe's last dictator, and Netanyahu. That's your peace board. War criminals, authoritarians, and genocide enthusiasts. But sure, this is totally about peace, not about Trump creating a corrupt pay-to-play scheme where dictators can buy influence for $1 billion. Totally legit. Oh, and during his Davos meltdown, Trump also announced he's bringing back battleships. You know those ships the Navy retired decades ago because they're completely obsolete? Trump says the new ones will be 100 times more powerful than World War II battleships. Donald, the Navy doesn't use battleships anymore. We have aircraft carriers, destroyers, submarines, nuclear weapons. The battleship era ended before your first bankruptcy. What are you going to do next? Bring back cavalry charges? Muskets? Maybe we can fight our wars with catapults and really make America great again, like it's 1,450. This whole trip was a masterclass in humiliation. Trump's plane had to turn around mid-flight due to electrical issues, which, let's be honest, probably happened because Trump insisted on using a hairdryer in the bathroom while simultaneously microwaving a bucket of KFC. The plane literally rejected him. Even Air Force One was like, nope, not doing this. Then he lands in Switzerland, delivers the most incoherent speech in modern diplomatic history, confuses multiple countries, threatens allies, announces fake deals, claims NATO calls him daddy. Yes, he actually said that. And then backs down from everything the second people push back. But here's what this disaster teaches us. The world will not bow to Trump's toddler tantrums. When Denmark said no, when Greenland said absolutely not, when NATO invoked Article 5, when Canada prepared for war, when Europe stood united, Trump got nothing, zero. An infinite framework for a future deal that doesn't exist and will never exist. And Fox News is calling this genius negotiation. Trump secures major Greenland breakthrough. No, he didn't. He threatened war, embarrassed America, tanked markets, and then ran away with his tail between his legs while pretending he won. This is the opposite of winning. This is getting pantsed in front of the entire school and then claiming you meant to do it. The American people are suffering while this clown plays dress-up dictator in Switzerland. People can't afford groceries. Rent is crushing families. Healthcare is being stripped away. ICE is murdering American citizens in the streets. But Trump's busy confusing Iceland with Greenland and making up infinite deals with countries that want nothing to do with him. This is our reality. A cognitively declining authoritarian who can't remember which country he's threatening, surrounded by enablers who pretend his gibberish is brilliance, while the actual work of governance gets ignored and Americans suffer. But here's the good news. When you stand up to Trump, he folds every time. Denmark stood firm. Greenland said no. NATO said try it and see what happens. And Trump folded like a house of cards in a hurricane. This is the lesson. Resistance works. Backbone works. The second you stop appeasing the bully, he runs away crying about his infinite framework deals. So keep pushing back. Keep calling out the lies. Keep documenting every failure, every confused rambling, every humiliating surrender disguised as victory, because this is how we get through this nightmare. Not by normalizing it, not by pretending the emperor has clothes, but by pointing and laughing at the naked old man screaming about Iceland when he means Greenland.